eventually what happens is that when you begin to put anything out there in the universe, at first there's the creative aspect where you're excited and you're feeling good about what you've just put out, your creation, or what you've just discovered. And then there's the process of reflecting on what you discovered, and what you created, your creation, reflecting on that and looking at your creation. This is for artists and creators, all for artists and creators. I don't care what you do. And looking at your creation and how it has affected humanity and what it has done for popular culture. It comes down to that very point. And I'm pointing this out today for a reason, because the third thing that happens, and then there's a third step that happens in this process that I'm speaking about on creativity, where you kind of get to a point where you're held accountable. The accounting aspect, the numbers, the mathematics. So this is the aspect that nobody wants to really look at and deal with. A lot of creators don't like dealing with the numbers and the mathematics aspect, because this is ruled by Saturn. See the numbers and the accounting and the karma associated with your creation or your arts, and I don't care what it is that you do, I'm speaking to you. See, when the accounting comes up, that's when people nut up, I guess you could say. Because this is when there's no mercy, there's no excuse. When you deal with numbers, there's either you have the number or you produce the answer or you don't. And if you don't produce the answer, you get stuck in what's called the X, or the variable of trying to solve for X. And this is where we are at now because of the fact that we have not been initiated into the mysteries of the occult. Humanity has not been initiated, has failed the initiation, has actually rejected the initiation. And this is why we are in the state of where we are at. And this is why we're stuck in an innocent, ignorant state that God or the Most High does not have sympathy for, according to my research. But I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go ahead and shut down. So the accounting is very important when you deal with the number 9 and the I. Because the accounting for everything that us teachers that gave you so much is up to do. It's now at its due date, meaning we have to now answer for our work on a numbers level, though, not on a religious, what word am I looking for? Political ideology. Nah, I'm talking about on a mathematical standard. What did your group or what you represent on a spiritual level, what has it produced for you and for the generations in the popular culture on a financial level, and what did you contribute to that? Meaning that if you're a pop artist, what did pop produce for the world, and what did you contribute to pop? How much did you produce? How much did you add in? How many millions did you put into the pop culture? If the pop culture produced billions or trillions, how many millions did you put in? So that's what it comes down to. So this is where we're at. And this is where people get what I call, they kind of, get scared. Because like I said, this part, or this accounting part, though, is very physical, is governed by a non-physical entity. That the only way you can access it is through accessing Saturn, or what's called Anu, which is going into the number 12. So I'm not going to talk too much about that. But what I want to do is that go ahead and point out what we've done to help you to wake up, and some jewels that we left, I say over 90 years ago, us Moroccans, us Moors, us Moorish people. See, we left jewels, billions of dollars worth of jewels that you can't access and you'll probably never get to see unless you partake in certain initiations that take time, money, and energy. Lots of time, lots of money, lots of energy. Because you have to earn certain lettering. And to earn certain lettering, you have to take part in what's called this X experiment that's going on. So we left Nintendo. I'm just gonna give you an example. Nintendo. Yeah, the Moorish Empire left Nintendo. You're like, what have you produced? I thought that was produced by Japan. You need to do your research on where those games came from and what those games are talking about. And those games are different levels and initiations, starting from the original Nintendo, Super Mario Brothers on into all of those different games, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and all of that. Yes, we produced that. That was a Moorish story, and that's a Moorish paradigm. And when you master those games, you may say, well, why should I master those games? What the fuck does that got to do with anything? I want to try to get rich and get money. See, you can't get any money. This is why you're stuck in gaming. Any money that you get, they can just come take it from you. But then there's certain levels that you can get on in sovereignty, to where they won't take money they can't take money. Not just they won't, they can't, without being held to a certain accountability and punishment, take anything from you. So you can't even, so what I'm saying is that your concept of economics is nothing but a game. And to master the game, you'd have to really truly master it, you'd have to go back into Nintendo. I'm serious. And this is why the young people seem to be able to produce more than older people, because what did they say in the Bible? You're not going to enter the kingdom unless you enter as a child. You thought they was talking about some metaphysical shit? No, this is real. This is talking about the fact that Nintendo and gaming was left as a sign as to teach us how to get out of the slavery that we're locked into with this financial paradigm that's actually tied into our DNA and tied into our a contract that was never complete. And we got stuck in what's called a loan. And that loan is still being calculated and added into every time we use the internet, satellites, any type of communication or electricity. You received a loan to get that technology. And that date is coming to an end. And we have the research, the Moorish Empire, myself for sure, has the research to teach you exactly what I'm talking about, for one thing, and how to get out of this thing. But you'd have to study Nintendo. So I'm just giving you an example. So you say, so what have you left? So like, that's our, I guess you can say, our lending tool. And if you want more proof, I can give you proof. But we left Nintendo. That made billions of dollars. So we've already produced as conscious P as Moors. So I can't speak for your groups. I can't speak for the Pan-African groups and all of these other groups. And, these groups that claim to have so much money, and these polygamous groups and all of this other stuff. I can't speak for that. I can only speak for the Moorish Divine National Movement, where we've produced billions. I mean, I can go on. But I'm going to go ahead and shut down. I just want to drop that. That's just something to think about today. And as always, stay vigilant. Namaste.